So, hello everyone. Welcome to the SIG Compute meeting. First of all, if there is anyone new here that want to say hi, this is the time. In any case, what we'll do, what we'll focus on today and in the few upcoming meetings is web planning. So as we discussed in previous meeting, basically what the first phase would be just to glance over the different webs, not really review them in depth, and discuss what we want to propose for consideration for the upcoming release. In the second phase, we will assign dedicated reviewers and approvers to each web, and then we will actually decide if it's tracked or not, and continue from there to web freeze, code freeze, and everything else. Daniel, since you wrote down an agenda item before I did, do you want to briefly talk about it?
So I have like two. Like the first one is like the SIG Compute migrations. I just wanted to bring this to your attention that since we somehow need to handle that at some point because like it's failing very badly. Like for all the lanes on average, we have like at the moment like a failure rate or like an impact of 39%, which is unacceptable to be honest. So I would really like to know how we are going forward with that, since like this is going on for months already. So what we have decided to do for now is at least propose like a quarantine PR that quarantines the worst offenders, so that it gives you actually some time. But on the other hand, I think like this is all bad because like migrations is so essential to the whole project that I'm unsure whether that is really like a good idea to just quarantine those tests. But if it's flaky, the NFS CSI update by Alex didn't bring anything, so it is as flaky as it was before. At least the update for the NFS CSI hasn't brought anything. No improvement. So that I think the flakiness still presents or prevails, and I don't know. Actually, it would like be like this would like even qualify for a lane quarantining, and that's the worst thing that could happen, I think. Just so I don't know. What do you think, guys?
So the NFS CSI client was updated, but not the server. And there's a reason for that is that there's no new version of the server. The image we use is something super old and weird. So maybe something to look into. And also we may want to completely get rid of NFS CSI in favor of a different rewrite many file system CSI.
I think that in general, the right thing to do here is that if there's like a failure that's related to a certain SIG, then maybe Daniel or somebody else can ping us, and then one representative of the SIG will join the SIG CI meeting or something like that. I can for sure take a look at those, and maybe we can discuss them in depth in the next SIG CI, which I will try to attend. I do want to focus on web planning because we don't have many times to do so. But thank you, Daniel, for bringing it to our attention. And please ping us or one of us if you think that there's a good reason to join the SIG CI. I will try to join anyways regularly to other SIGs meetings, but
maybe add the topic to SIG storage because. NFS.
Okay, so I'll do that. I think, but I think the meeting is like just in 1 week, and this is like another week going in, and we have like this problem for months already. So okay. I think this is pretty urgent, from my point of view at least.
Let me try to tackle that and at least to have a first look if it's that urgent. Okay, and then I can delegate to SIG storage.
Yeah, I mean, there must be somebody like Alex and.
I will ping them.
Yeah.
Alex, Shelley, yeah, I will talk to them. No problem. So
And also, if there's a need, Daniel, we can have a dedicated conversation to talk about this specific topic.
Could also be helpful. Yes, I agree. Okay, thanks. Sorry for holding you guys up.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing it to attention. It's very important. So yeah, now let's get to the actual web planning. So we have this board. If you're not familiar with it yet, I'll share the link. It's basically the board, but filtered only for SIG compute webs and things that are not deferred or removed from milestone. So what I will ask to do is basically we'll go through these webs one by one. I'll ask the web owner to quickly give us like a quick overview of what the web is and what is it about, and then we can maybe very briefly discuss if we want to consider it for tracking in the upcoming release. And maybe we can raise some basic or major issues that we see, but I just want to emphasize that we won't like deeply review every web at this point at least. So first in the list here, I see the decentralized live migration web by Alexander Wells. So Alexander, do you want to tell us what's it about in a few words?
Sure. So right now, live migration is very centralized around the VMI in the namespace. All the coordination happens through that. And if we want to do things like live migration across namespaces or across clusters, we can't maintain that. So the thought is to like decentralize it a little bit and have more than one VMI. In particular, if I'm in a different namespace or a different cluster, the target will have a different VMI than the source. And there needs to be some synchronization between these VMIs. The vet explains, the whole setup. But the thought is to sort of pull the source and the target apart. Right now, everything is all in one giant controller in one VMI, and we want to pull it apart into sort of like two separate things that are synchronized in some fashion.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a big one.
It is.
Did I remember correctly that you had a POC or something like that?
Yes.
Cool. Can you grab the link, because I'm not sure if it's.
I have not
listed.
put a link to that POC in there, but I actually have code that people can run and compile and play with if that's what they want. I've learned a lot from the POC, and I've updated the web based on that. So the POC actually doesn't 100% match the web anymore. There's some things I learned that I want to do better in the actual implementation than that I did in the POC.
Cool. Yeah. So for this one, I guess it's being so big and complex, I guess, is the main challenge here. Maybe a POC would be helpful just to let people understand like what's the design better. Yeah, I see also that the proposal is very like detailed with a lot of graphs, which makes it very easy to look at. So that's great. I guess it is. I mean, from my perspective, it's definitely valuable. Does anybody has any thoughts about this? First thoughts from a first glance.
Hey, so I mean, did anyone had time to review?
There's a few
I've
people that have done some reviews, and I've addressed all the comments as far as I know. So.
Yeah, Alexander, you from your part definitely did everything you could. So my question is, did anyone have time from compute to go over this design? And from my point of view, I think we need some kind of a buy-in from compute, because yeah, it's not just me, approving this.
Maybe another suggestion is to prepare some kind of quick slides just so everybody could grasp the idea and the design. I've quickly looked at it. I didn't review it in depth, but I've already see like it's a lot it's a lot. So maybe just having a quick presentation to outline the design, and maybe we can talk about it a bit more next time would be beneficial. What do you think?
Yeah, I can do that.
And just in a matter of, in the interest of time, because I mean, we have 1 month to converge all of this, and the sooner, this is like a really big topic. I think that we shouldn't wait until the next meeting. We should, if we want another presentation and Alexander has the time for it, maybe we should schedule it before next meeting. From my point of view, I'm out of ideas how to improve this. So any new, idea will just take it away from any kind of completion, or it will not converge for this release. So from my point of view, I'm ready to approve, but I also want people from compute to look at this. So if that's possible, let's schedule it before the next meeting.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. Since this is just such a huge topic, maybe we can do like a dedicated meeting for this before the next meeting. We can publish it on the mailing list, so yeah, anyone could join. And yeah, does this sound okay?
Yeah, I did a first iteration. I would be happy to do another one and schedule something on Monday, if it's possible for people to continue discuss the web, to see the path forward. If it sounds good, I would be happy
Yeah,
to do
Monday.
that. So Monday.
Thank you, Igor.
Sure, with pleasure.
Okay, so let's quickly move to the next one. So we have the IBM Z-Secure execution. Do we have the web owner in this meeting? Jan? I don't think so. Okay, so we'll skip that for now. Okay. Now there is, yeah.
Sorry. This one, I think, if you open the design, basically, Jed and I had already looked at had some ideas there, but the problem there is that basically our idea was to generalize this approach and not create multiple entries for different technologies. And the problem here is that generalizing would involve a lot of different aspects. And I don't know if this is valuable to ask Jan to do the generalization. But the question is, do we want this generalization to happen before, or we are okay with the current implementation, and then to make sure that somebody generalize this later?
So
Yeah, I'm trying.
in the API in the web, I mean, or in the PR, it actually has a generic name already. So we could potentially go with this and then just reuse that name for also AMD and Intel.
If you look at the bottom, I mean, he suggested. I had some conversation with him. Actually, I saw Itamar also was involved. Yeah, so API field for SCV, it's under feature gate, so it's not relevant. We can remove this or rework this, and this is actually a good time to do it.
Yeah, so as I wrote there, like I wonder how we can deal with different parameters for different technologies, basically. It's because I guess that AMD, SCV, or Intel SGX, or all of those have like different sets of parameters. Maybe I'm wrong, but then like I wonder. I mean, because it's not just like a single string for strategy, right? It usually contains more information. That's why I'm
So
hesitant.
Libert API actually is very generic. If you look at this, I mean, we could go with something similar to what they have, but in general, the idea is that SAV can only work on CPUs that are AMD, right? I mean, and for S390, we already know the topology, so we don't have to have all of these combinations listed and then do the validations for them. We could just be smart enough to know what technology to choose and what's needed there. And for SGX and TDX that will come in the future, I'm not sure what parameters will be there, but we can. I mean, we need to design this API to be generic enough so they would be able to add, but not to list simply all of these different technologies out there.
Yep, sounds good to me. If we can come up with a generic API, then it sounds great. And by the way, another concern that I had is regarding testing, because he says here rightfully that it would be pretty hard to test this upstream because we need like dedicated hardware. And I wonder if like in general, if this should be a requirement for beta graduation or at least GA, because it's nice that Reddit does testing downstream, but from an upstream perspective, it's problematic.
Yeah, but the question here is, do we accept this for alpha or not? And what does alpha needs to look like, and at what point do we need to say we require changes for beta? I think that's the key. What do we expect for alpha?
So for alpha, I think it's entirely fine. I wouldn't expect like full mature testing for an alpha feature. That's fine by me. But for beta or at least GA, I think it should be a requirement.
Jed, and do you think that we need to rework this API in alpha, or do we need to do it towards beta?
So I think that we should do it in alpha. Like in my view, beta is basically saying we think it's basically mature enough. We want to give it some time to get feedback and and rehearse this like on real use case and stuff like that. But APIs, I think it's important to not do major changes in a after we already graduated to beta, or at least try to. So I think we should have this discussion at the alpha stage.
Well, not sure why nested virtualization is required here, because like we saw with ARM, for example, this is external contributors can also chime in, contribute CI. So there could be CI lane that is use external provider, which is a bare metal on which qroot can be deployed like we did with ARM. But if they cannot provide such hardware, then that's a problem. Yeah, then
Yeah, and I guess it makes total sense to have something in alpha, have like testing downstream when it's in alpha stage, and then when we see it actually that it's working and it's stable and everything, that we will actually invest the money to bring up bare metals to upstream CI and all of that. So, any other thoughts about this one? Do we, by the way, want to take the decision to actually propose for the consideration, or we want to think of it a bit more?
I don't know. I think we should. I mean, we should move it forward. Just the question is how the API will look like.
Cool.
And
Um,
yeah, I think the centralization also. I mean, it's
Cool. Okay, moving forward to Lee's proposal. So I had a little comment about it. Yeah,
Hey, I was
Bailey.
just curious if we can pick up DRA next. I'm going to be at KubeCon the next time we are doing planning next week, so I will not be able to attend.
I think the array is ready to go. Jed is already put an approval there, and I'll approve it. So I think it's for alpha. I think we should move forward. There's no question. The question, my only request there was like maybe we will need to reevaluate what we do for beta. But other than that, I have no more questions. I think it's ready to go from my point of view.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Since we have like so much time until web freeze and we have no pressure at all, I'd be happy to also take a look before it's finally approved. But yeah, for sure, let's even put it on track, so like we're sure it's in the upcoming release. Okay, so back to Lee's proposal. Lee, do you want to say something about this?
Both of these are just graduation trackers, really. So the first one, which one? Yeah. So yeah, the reference policy one, the design proposal landed for that a while ago, and yeah, this was just an attempt to track the graduation of the feature gate, and just seeing what our policies were about around that now that we have the enhancements repo and the vet process and everything. This actually has already moved to GA. It landed a couple of days ago, I think. So yeah, for 1.6, this is done. But in terms of policy going forward, we obviously still have a whole load of feature gates at varying stages of graduation. For the compute specific ones, do you want to track graduation during 1.6 for those feature gates in a similar fashion to this, with an individual issue for each?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's I mean, this raises like general interesting questions. For example, like if we graduate API like without any features or anything, do we want to track it with a VAP, or I don't know? Yeah, Vladik.
So I mean, from my point of view, the problem here is that it started before we had the process. If we would start now, I mean, we would have one tracker that says all the maturity stages, and then we'll move through these maturity stages. But yeah, I mean, now.
Well, now we can definitely track like where things are at the moment, and if something is in alpha and it needs to progress to beta and beyond, and we feel that there needs to be documented a documented kind of timeline and criteria and everything for it to graduate, then yeah, we could potentially turn around and say, okay, well, we need to actually write a full enhancement for this to document everything out, because it wasn't in the original design proposal or something. But even without that, like just having a tracker because we're talking about like planning everything for the release, and that there is potentially work here even with graduation. So it would be good just to have a tracker, even just to be aware that okay, that feature gate's going to GA. We need to have user documentation written or something trivial like that. I'm not intending for all of these to have like full-blown enhancements written or anything like that. It's just lightweight trackers for this initial kind of run through.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great. So yeah, I think we are out of time. But yeah, this is a pretty good progress. We'll glance through the other ones in the next meeting, and yeah, we'll make another meeting with Alexander in the meantime. So yeah, thank you all. Any final words?
Image volume is merged, by the way. So
The web. So
16. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll put it under tracked. Great. Maybe I'll leave it empty just so next time we'll have a chance to summarize it to everyone. But yeah, for sure. Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.